cartoons, the most common animals you'd find anthropomorphized are bunnies, ducks, mice, pigs, dogs, and cats. Maybe there are a few others, but they're not as common as those ones. This has been the template for cartoons since the very beginning of animation, since those are the most common animals that everyone knows about. When animators had to create a character that really needs to stand out from the rest, they would try different animals that no one ever used before. That's why you would see a company in Universal create characters like a woodpecker, a panda, and a penguin. But then there was one instance at Warner Brothers that they picked an animal so obscure that no one else dared to make another character with it. And a good thing too, because there can be only one Tasmanian Devil. When Bugs would pick up the dictionary on Tasmanian Devils, it explains,
a strong, murderous beast, jaws as powerful as a steel trap, has ravenous appetite, eats tigers, lions, elephants, buffaloes, donkeys, giraffes, octopuses, rhinoceroses, mooses, ducks.
However, when you see him for yourself, Taz is nature's eating machine, capable of eating anything and everything. In fact, eating everything is his goal in life. Even when it moves around, he becomes a tornado that can go through everything, even the ground. When it comes to his creation, one would wonder how did they come up with a Tasmanian Devil of all things? You see, back in the 50s, the Looney Tunes directors all created their own rival for Bugs to face when they're not using Elmer Fudd. Like Friz Freleng has Yosemite Sam, and Chuck Jones has Marvin the Martian. But then came Bob McKimson, who despite creating many classic cartoons and characters like Foghorn Leghorn and Speedy Gonzales, he never created an antagonist to go after Bugs. It wouldn't be until one day when Bob was doing his usual crossword puzzles when he found that one of the answers was the Tasmanian Devil, which is apparently an endangered carnivorous marsupial that's the biggest of his kind that only lives in the Australian island of Tasmania. This would give Bob a brilliant idea for a new character. Since his interpretation of Bugs is more fearless, why not have him face a mad animal that shares the never-ending appetite and the insane personality as its real-life counterpart? So McKimson decided to try him out on Taz's first cartoon on July 19, 1954 with Devil May Hair. For all the sounds that Taz makes, it's a combination of all different noises made by Mel Blanc mashed up into one. From growls, a gravelly voice, raspberries, and screeches, and for his whirl when he moves around, it's actually a BB shot inside a big balloon spun around.
What a boy brain. Uh-oh, he wants to play some more.
After its release, the producer of the Warner Brothers cartoons at the time, Ed Seltzer, hated Taz so much that he found him annoying and demanded McKimson to never make another Taz cartoon again because this might encourage kids to be violent. He wanted to make sure that Taz is dead for good. That is until years later when Jack L. Warner brought Seltzer to his office to show him one thing. A giant pile of boxes containing nothing but letters saying how much they love Taz and demanded more cartoons. Well, Eddie, you can't keep the public waiting now, can ya? So in 1957, Taz would make his comeback in 2 additional cartoons, including Bedeviled Rabbit and Ducking the Devil, which the latter was the only time when Daffy had to take care of him.
I may be a craven little coward, but I'm a greedy craven little coward. I just gotta have that 5 Gs.
Unfortunately, afterwards, since it was the end of the golden era for Looney Tunes cartoons, Taz could only appear in 2 more tunes with Bill of Hair in 1962 and Dr. Devil and Mr. Hair in 1964, all of which directed by McKimson and making a total of only 5 cartoons. The only other time Taz came into the scene was in the short right before Christmas for the 1979 TV special Bugs Bunny's Looney Christmas Tales. Since then, even with a very short cartoon career, Taz's popularity would reach to new heights, more than most other Looney Tunes characters. In fact, he probably has as much merchandising as Bugs Bunny. His popularity got so big that he got his own TV sitcom in 1991 called Taz-Mania, which actually had a good run of 4 seasons with 65 episodes. Speaking of television, Taz would even get some spiritual successors that play a good part in a couple of series, including Dizzy Devil in Tiny Toons Adventures and Slam Tasmanian in Lunatics Unleashed. And that's not even mentioning how he was the perfect subject as an enemy in many games, and how a lot of actors got a chance to go crazy with his voice, including Mel's son, Noel Blanc, D. Bradley Baker, Maurice LaMarche, Brendan Fraser, and most notably, Jim Cummings. With how insanely popular Taz became, like handling the beast himself, it's actually not easy to keep control. In 1997, the Tasmanian government went and disputed with Warner Brothers in order to have the right to use the character to promote tourism. But with how the WB was so protective over the trademark of the character, along with the name, the company would keep demanding an annual fee to use his likeness. However, after fighting for almost a decade, they realized something that's far more important than the character himself, and that is the species is based on. Like I said before, the real Tasmanian devils are considered an endangered species, and this is due to the devil facial tumor disease, or DFTD. Both the Tasmanian government and Warner Brothers decided to team up in 2006 and created 5,000 special edition Taz plushies, all of which the profit was put onto research for the disease. Even to this day, the government is still trying their best to find a cure for DFTD. So if you guys want to save the critters from extinction, then this is the best site for more info. You can even consider it as a way of saying thank you for all the good laughs that the crazy Looney Tunes character has given us throughout the years. So why not show some love? After all
the wild loves a lover. But in this case, we'll make an exception.
See ya, see you later, dudes!